Welcome to Late Night Satori, the show that gives you an exclusive sneak peek behind the curtain of Junior Anthony Satorians.
We are Carlos,
Maggie,
and Uncle Tim. Let's go!
Let's go! Welcome back. We got our partner in crime, one of the triple OGs of Late Night Satori, Mr. Nick Klein. Say hi, Nick.
What's
Hello,
up,
everybody?
Nick?
hey Nick.
How you guys doing tonight?
Good, good.
Making it. This is probably the latest Late Night Satori we've done.
Hey, we're staying true to our name.
Yeah.
No. So, Nick, even though you're an OG, you're still kind of new to the family as it goes. So, I guess tell us a little bit about yourself.
So a little bit about myself. From Pittsburgh. I was a salesman for a lot of my life. Once COVID hit, kind of dwindled my hours being a salesman, which then I kind of looked into something online more. And that's when I came across affiliate marketing. And pretty much from that point, it was a lot of digging and trying to find out stuff by myself. Didn't really get me anywhere. Spent a lot of money with no result. And then finally I was introduced to this family, and honestly has been the best decision of my life. If I wasn't in this family, I would have been gone, quit, whatever else a long time ago. So without this family, definitely would not be online still.
Personally, I know a lot of us have that similar feeling. I know I was there myself. I know Junior even had mentioned at one point if certain things hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't have sticked it out. In my mind, I think I would have. But I guess that kind of ties into our subject of the day, which is ego. Because, yes, my ego, just like procrastination with me, is strong. I have I believe that I'm a good person, but I have bad tendencies when it comes to the ego. If I think I'm right, that's it. I don't know if you have that same feeling, Nick. But when you hear ego, what are your thoughts on it? Like, how has ego impacted your life?
Every time I hear the word ego, I tend to just smile and look the other way, because it tends to hit me where I know I do have the ego. I mean, an ego in a good way and also in a bad way. And even like I said a little bit about myself already, the reason why I was stuck for so long and not trying to reach out for help is because of my ego. And it was more like, exactly. It was more like, listen, I'm going to get this done. I've done everything else in my life. I can get this done. And it was more so just having somebody teach you and you have to follow their instructions and hold their hand. Like anytime a grown man says, let me hold your hand and tell you what to do.
I ain't no baby. Am I?
Like, can you make it into another term? Like, why do I gotta hold your hand?
Can I follow beside you?
I can follow behind you, man. Just walk forward. Why do I gotta hold your hand? So that was definitely something that I realized. I was like, come on, like I'm not trying to hold your hand. And that kind of took me a while to realize, and it was a lot of pain, which with ego, a lot of pain, regret, all that stuff comes with ego. Mm-hmm. So after you kind of go through the trenches by yourself with nobody around you, and you look back for support and there's nobody there, that's when it kind of wakes you up. It's like, okay, well, I can do everything before on my own, but in this certain circumstance, I might not and I cannot do it by myself. So definitely this has opened my eyes to what my ego was before, and just taking like an initial step into something that you're not comfortable with, it already breaks down pretty much that wall that you have in front of you. Breaks down that wall. It's not comfortable, but to be comfortable, you have to be uncomfortable first. And so even with ego, I mean, you're comfortable with yourself. You're not comfortable with other people helping you out. So for me, just letting somebody be there and just like, listen, Nick, just listen to me, hold my hand, and you'll be fine.
So you're okay with holding hands now?
I wouldn't go that far, but
A metaphorical holding of the hand.
it went a little bit too far in that one. But Junior's hand, yeah, I'll hold his hand very
Very delicately.
very delicately.
Let's just hold by the fingertips.
Not all four, just two.
So how is it for everyone else? Like, do you want to go ladies first, Maggie, or Tim? Would you like to go about the ego?
I'll let Maggie go.
I was just going to say, and Junior talks about this, that's why when women get into this, they are often more successful than men when they first start, because we don't have that ego. You know, not that we're more submissive or used to taking instructions, but we can recognize sometimes instructions that need to be taken and just adjust ourselves and go with it. But for me, it wasn't the ego, it was being competitive, which can be just as bad, because maybe that's a form of ego as well, where I want to do as good as the next person. So I'm hard on myself, but I don't have that ego of not listening to instructions or feeling like I can do this by myself. You know, I can recognize that I needed the help, and that's why I joined the mentorship, because I was like, I can't do this on my own. I've never done this before. I have no clue what I'm doing. Oh, you can tell me, I'm ready to listen. So for me, I was open from day one to listening. So I didn't have that ego problem.
Well, on the contraire, mon frere. Like, it just came from a different, perspective. Like, first off, for the audience out there, we want to make sure everybody's on the same page. So when I pulled up ego, the definition as a noun is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. And then the psychoanalysis is the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. So with me, I grew up like in the inner city, so I always had to be on my guard. You know what I'm saying? People, you never know when something's going to happen. And then I went to the military, so then that boosted my ego even more. So I'm like, okay, I'm a badass. Can't nobody mess with me. And then my wife boosts my ego, saying, you can do anything that you want to do. And I'm like, yeah, I can do anything. So then when I got in here, I was like, oh, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, I need help. And still to this day, like, I still had to catch myself. And one thing I have to do with my ego is I can't let it be my enemy. I have to have my ego be my ally. Because if my ego is my enemy, I'm going to be all over the place, constantly battling back and forth. But if I make that ego my ally, he's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just chill. I got you. Go ahead, follow the instructions, get the hand holding, because this guy knows more than you do. He's been through it. So he's going to be able to teach you. So I had to push to the side, be like, hey, man, we got this. We can work together. Me and your ego, we can work together and get this accomplished. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, and I would also add on to that. So even when I first came in, like I said, I tried so many different things out there, and I pretty much filled my brain with, I know pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. And so when I came in here and it was like, Junior was like, hey, listen, like, do this. I'm like, no, I've already tried that. It doesn't work. Or, hey, do this. I'm like, no, that's not really that important in my opinion. I'm not going to do that. That was just my ego. Like you just said, it was my enemy. It was putting a roadblock up for me not to be able to continue. Mm-hmm. So at first I was just stuck like, okay, well, which way do I go? And I was all confused. And all I had to do was lift my ego, and I had a clear path ahead of me. Yeah. So that was definitely something that I struggled with at first. But pretty much just little baby steps, just pushing the ego out for one little thing that is said. It gives you a clear path. You move on, and then say something else comes in the way. Well, you still have that memory of, hey, all I had to do was humble myself and listen to someone else's instructions. And where did it get me? It got me up to this point. And that you can carry that along all the way down your journey as well.
I like that. Baby steps. I like that.
Yeah. It's good that you recognize and then you just repeat that process.
Here we go. Self-awareness. Here we go again. It always comes back to self-awareness. As long as you know what the problem is, you can fix it.
Yeah, because I know I related with what Tim was saying, because I'm a very trusting person. So once that trust is gone, it is hard to get it back. And like I said that about the program that I was in first. Like, I trusted the program, and once it didn't work, like, cause that ego, it wasn't letting me. I was like, yeah, I know I need help, but I'm gonna get it. Maybe I just need to research more. Let me watch these again instead of it tapping out. I was supposed to tap out like 2 months into it, but 5 months later, I'm like, okay, I joined another program that was tied into this one, so maybe I can do it. And yeah, it didn't work. So once my ego finally was like, okay, we need help, I got into Live Satori, where we at now, and my ego was like, not again. No, we're not trusting no one. They gonna just do the same thing. And so that ego hindered the growth that I was supposed to have. Like, it opened me up with the people, because like what we saying here, you get what you need. It's about results, but it's also about getting your growth, because everybody's different. I needed to grow in a whole different way before I, started elevating upwards. But yeah, that ego, it kept me down. I'll tell you that, because I was waiting for that other foot to drop hard. I was like, 2 months in, I'm doing bare minimum. I'm just waiting for you to try to upsell me with something else, but never happened. My ego thought I knew what I didn't know. So, and as Tim say, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. Like, if you need help, get it.
Help me.
Help me. Help me. Help you. Help me. Help you.
You help me.
Yeah. So Pittsburgh, huh? So how was it growing up in Pittsburgh, Nick?
Well, so I'm in the outer suburbs of Pittsburgh, and to kind of give you a little background on my personal life. So growing up, my dad was actually a pastor. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. So the amount of resistance I had was a lot. Like, when they say sheltered, I was sheltered in a shelter. So it was pretty much either play with your brothers and sisters or go do something outside. And I mean, we lived on 10.5 acres. So my quad was one of my best friends. So, and I mean, back then it was, I mean, obviously as a young kid into teenage years, you don't really have much ego. But then they stick you out in the real world. And that's where it's like you got to fend for yourself. And that's when you start kind of building that ego, in my opinion, because it's either like you sink or you swim. So for me, it was right out of high school, I was thrown into a full real life job. Didn't go to college, didn't play around with the little extended high school era. I went straight into the world, and it was either you sink or you swim. Like, that's it. And so for me, it was I had to grow up real fast. Might have grown up a little bit too fast, and that's where kind of the ego started coming in. Like, oh, I know how to do this. Like, don't tell me what to do. Even with my boss, like, he would tell me to do something, and I would be like, oh, no, that's the wrong way of doing it. I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing it my way. And what I didn't realize what was happening is every single time that it was my way that I wanted to do it, that ego got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And until you get to one point, and that ego now turns into cockiness. And I was definitely there at one point in my life. But yeah, growing up after that, after getting into the real world, and then going to Pittsburgh at 21, you have some fun times and you have some bad times too. So it was a lot of realizing different things, going from a sheltered shelter to pretty much whatever the heck I wanted to do out there. Yeah. And it did get me in some trouble as I continued on. And most of the time, with everything that I got in trouble with, the thing that it boils down to, and this is 100% honest truth, was my ego. Yeah. People telling me, don't do this, or this is going to happen. Don't do this. I've been through that. Don't do that. Well, everything that they told me not to do, I went and did. Yeah. And every end result that came out of it was exactly what they said was going to come out of it. So,
where you want to be in like a year, 2 years from now?
So, my whole thing was always, oh yeah, I want to be a millionaire or something. I want to make $100,000 a year. Obviously, that's still like a goal, but it's not as high as a goal as it once was. For me, I want to still grow as a man, because I'm nowhere near being a man. In my opinion, I'm still a young teenage boy. So, grow as a man, grow a better business mindset, so that down the road, if I would go into different avenues, I would know exactly what to do at certain points, so I'm not going through blind. So if I can, for me, if those would be like the two main goals. Obviously, I want to make money as well. Who doesn't? I'm just being real here. I mean,
yeah, man.
So
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. But all in all, make money, grow as a person, grow a better mindset, and take care of people more often. Don't just worry about yourself all the time. And it actually makes you feel even better when you help somebody else out instead of helping yourself out.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed.
Drop the mic.
Mic drop. Speaking of business, endorse your stuff. What you got going? Where can people find you? What's up?
You can find me on Instagram. It's nkleinj, KLEIN 23. So nkleinj 23. That's the best place to get me on Instagram. Or you can check out my TikTok. I have 2 TikToks. Like, if you like cooking, I can check out Klein's Kitchen 6. That's the one with all the food on it. And then the other one is Nick Klein 6. Pretty sure. Okay. And those are if you kind of want to look into my journey with Junior and how it's been through the last 2.5 months for me, you can check out that TikTok and Nick Klein 6. And if you just want to mess around on TikTok, don't get lost in it, check out Klein's Kitchen 6.
That's real. That's some real good advice right there. Don't get caught up in that.
Disclaimer.
Don't go down that rabbit hole.
Don't know what voodoo. Yeah, don't know what voodoo they do on TikTok. Jesus.
But we'll put all your socials on the video when we edit, and that way people can see it, write it down. But yeah, it was a pleasure, Nick.
Absolutely, I appreciate you guys for having me, and being able to kind of share my side of my journey. Was really blessed, and I appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate you coming by, and as always, whoever gave y'all the link to get to this podcast, hit them up, join the family. Let us know.
Absolutely.
Come, be a part of it. Yep, you could be the next guest on Late Night Satori.
Hey guys, it's awesome. Go out and reach out to people. Join the family. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. You will not regret it. Best decision I've ever made.
I love it. All right, well, everybody, we appreciate y'all, and we will see you on the next episode of Late Night Satori.